All. Now 7:02, I'd like to call this meeting to order. If everybody could please rise for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If everybody could please remain standing, I'd like to call a moment of silence for the recently departed from our town. Brian DeGraw, Russell Mayer, Jane Fay, Gabrielle Paolini, James Fagan, and Marcy Rudy. Thank you. We'll see if we can roll call.
Councilperson Brown?
Present.
Councilwoman Keenan? Supervisor Sheehan?
Present.
Councilwoman?
Present. Did everybody get a chance to review the May minutes prepared by the deputy clerk?
I did.
Yeah.
Any changes?
I made them right.
Submitted them.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the March meeting minutes?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. So thank you to everybody who attended and celebrated St. Patrick's Day with us. It was a wonderful success. We had horses, we had a wonderful statue. Once again, that was detailed by India Valenti in the second year. It's really beautiful to have. The band was great. I think Crossroads did really well, and all the other local businesses. Bruce Face Painting was there. It's really wonderful to get her working and start the season off in England. So thank you to everybody who attended. We look forward to the parade next year as well. I don't know if any of you have noticed now that the snow's melted and hopefully not returning. I don't know after today's day, but the Silver Feather River Access Project that we were awarded in 2021 was a community project that I proposed along with the Upper Delaware Scenic Byway and the Greater Beardenville Chamber of Commerce with the town of Highland. It's been fully actualized now. So we were able to put in the mural at the cul-de-sac on River Road. We kind of reclaimed the green space and put up interpretive signage, the green space at the far west end of River Road. We also put in interpretive signage and did some pressure run lane for parking at Eagle Observation 1. And then we worked on the DEC interpretive signs and some of those like wayfinding signs for boat launch. And then to me, the most exciting entity of the project was the activity path that we put in as part of the Cape project. So that was a collaboration with the Delaware company and the town of Highland, and was fabulously executed by our highway department. So thank you to Joe and everybody that worked on that project as well. I don't know if you've seen on warmer days, not today, a lot of people are already utilizing the path. And we have an interpretive sign here that shows where all the river access points are here in Eldrick. So the final leg of the project, which it's too cold to start planting right just yet, I think we'll wait till Memorial Day. But we're going to install indigenous gardens that are self-sustaining with a company called Mama & Co. And so that's how we're spending down the remainder of our funds. We had extra money left over because we chose not to put up the eagle shed or the eagle blind that was once the Eagle Observation 2. Because after further research, the Eagle Institute has concluded that those sort of structures are not necessary. So we have the extra money to put in the indigenous gardens and put in an interpretive sign over here. So we're really excited. Thank you to everybody. Again, thank you to the highway department for that. We just begun work on our SAM grant for town hall. So we were awarded a $75,000 technology and kitchen upgrade and town upgrade grant from Aileen Gunther. She was leading office. So we've just begun working with a company that we've already worked with for years called Secure Cloud to improve the technology in the building. We've installed high-speed internet that works throughout the whole space. We're still working out some of the kinks, but $3,500 of our contract with Secure Cloud is reimbursable through our SAM grant, so we're really excited. The only things that we can't pay for with our grant in terms of technology are like monthly subscriptions to memberships, and so they're kind of shifting things around, but I think it might end up saving us money in the end of the day to add extra security and to have Wi-Fi throughout the building. So we're really excited to provide that as well for the community and for everybody that works there every day. We're going to start to make plans for the kitchen. We had a mishap with our refrigerator over the weekend. It stopped working and auto defrosted itself. We almost lost a turkey that was in the freezer. I think everybody lost their lunches from last week. We're going to make do until we get a kitchen plan together. So Tom and I are going to start to discuss that. The senior center, I don't know if you guys have been peeking around there, if everybody's been to the senior community center, but it's looking really great. We've converted the kitchen there that was out of compliance with the health department into a fully actualized commercial kitchen. So hopefully it makes the rentability and the usability of that space a little bit more appealing for everybody to rent. It's got a fast dishwasher that doesn't load in 2 minutes or less. We also have a 3-bay sink, which is a requirement of the health department. We have our hand washing sink that's being installed, and we have stainless steel countertops, and we're actually the new counters that have been ordered and should be here. Our new refrigerator for the seniors is going to arrive tomorrow, and then we've had our big refrigerator and freezer delivered that'll be utilized by Growing Soul. And along with that, if you look in the dates to remember section, we have 2 meals that we're going to be providing on a monthly basis. So these are our beta and to 8th graders and their families. That seems to be like a sort of weak spot in programming for the local schools and parents. So one of the parents that has school kids in both Homestead and in Mackenzie suggested we do a movie night, and Jessica from Growing Souls, who's helping us with this program, was really excited to do something ethnic to kind of educate the kids while we watch a movie. So right now the plan is to show Kung Fu Panda and to serve Chinese food and have a little romper room in our community center on May 16th. We're really excited about it. And again, it's an ever evolving program. We do want to do 2 meals a month, and so that's the first one. The second one will be on Tuesday, May 20th, and that corresponds with the senior center meeting. It's also the day that at the St. Anthony's Parish Center, they do the Yummy Yummy program. So for people that are in need or just excited about getting to know and engaging with the community, people can kind of have a food bonanza day on that third Tuesday of the month. So they'll be able to go to Yummy Yummy, go to the senior meeting, bless you, go to the senior meeting, and then we'll be doing the meal program from 3 to 6:30. And folks can also just pick up meals and go home. You're not forced to sort of like engage or stay there, but we will make it appealing to be there. So we're really excited about that. We're waiting for our blueprints from our architect. Some of you may remember we hired Shadow Architects for our $250,000 SAM grant for the courthouse. They're devising plan right now, and they'll be presenting those at our May meeting. So we're very excited about that. Our little courthouse is going to be restored in all of its glory. We've also signed an MOU for extended emergency center usage of the St. Anthony's Parish Center. So in case of a long storm like we had back in 2018, where we were without power for quite a long time, I think it was 2.5 weeks for some folks, we will be using St. Anthony's Parish Center. So when we sold the highway garage, we gave the generator that was formerly in that garage to the St. Anthony's Parish Center. And so this has been like a long time coming that we're actually actualizing it. We have an MOU in place. We have a plan to get cots over there if people need to sleep there. But we can also use this center during really hot months for people that don't have air conditioning. So it will also be used as a cooling center. We have brownouts, people can charge their phones. So we'll be communicating that on the town board website and also our Facebook page and my personal supervisor page. And always feel free, I post my number everywhere if you guys have questions of which center's open and you have self-service in the event of a storm, please feel free to call me or call the clerk's office at any time. You guys may have seen on social media and heard at the meetings that we've been collecting bills from NYSEG. I know this has been a huge problem this winter season where people have seen their rates soar. Veronica Bell has been collecting signatures and also people's bills. And so we're gonna try to turn those in by the next May meeting. Hopefully escalate that to some representation in Albany via Paula Kay, who's already had a couple open house meetings for that. So if anybody has bills, I think NYSEG bills where you've seen a significant unexplicable increase in your charges, try to get those to us by our May meeting. Our workshop meeting is May 6th. The meeting is the 13th, and that's when we'll present our final sort of town of Highland overage charges from NYSEG. Also, for the board, did you guys, everybody get a chance to review the response letter for the former Brookwood camp? They put in a request to have us consider cluster housing as we're in the middle of our comprehensive plan. So the board all got a chance to review that letter?
Yes.
Do I have a motion to approve the letter to send on to that group?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Hi.
All opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. More dates to remember. We have our preparedness course at 6 p.m. on May 8th. Paula, can you tell us a little bit about the course? You've attended before, right?
Margie and I went to the county courts and it was very helpful. And the idea is to get citizens prepared with the necessary things they need in their home in case there is an emergency, to stay sheltered in place, and also what they need to be prepared to do if there's an evacuation plan. And they had a lot of resources. They gave out backpacks and it's well worth going through that for people so they have some idea of what they should be prepared to do in an emergency. So we're bringing those people here to town so they can give the course directly.
That's great. And we have Emerson Heasman, who is a graduate from Eldred in 2017. He's designing a flyer for you guys. He's taking on some of our flyer design for us, which is great. He's a very talented graphic designer. So we'll be getting that out and circulating it. They do give you supplies, you said, right? Like they
gave us supplies, they gave us a list of things people should have. They explained exactly what emergency alerts mean, what you're expected to do. And it was very helpful, that there were a lot of things we weren't aware of.
Great. So, yeah, everybody can just sort of show up. It'll be first come, first serve, but again, that is May 8th, and you'll start to see that circulate on our town board website and on social media. Also, on May 17th, we're doing our town cleanup day. So everybody gets a pass to come and do the cleanup. It's located behind the Senior and Community Center. That's where the dumpsters will be held. It's hosted pretty much by the Highland Highway Department. They staff and man that day for us. It's a really wonderful program. It's a great time to do all your spring cleaning, and spring cleanup, and everybody who has a property gets a pass. So if you own several properties, you can get a pass per lot that you have. So, you know, there's no limit to that. If you own 6 or 7 lots, well, get rid of a lot of trash, because today that's your day. May 17th is the town cleanup day.
John,
Also on May, yes,
typically, homeowners have to come in and register and
they
they
just
get,
get a pass.
yeah,
Clerk.
they do have to come in and.
Yeah, so
sign
yeah,
up.
if you've never participated in cleanup day before, you pick up your pass from the town clerk's office. And they'll issue you a pass per lot that you own, again, the property. Also, on May 21st and 22nd, Scotty Greenberg is hosting his third,
That's the very question.
is it second or third one?
The second one is.
Got it. So it's the second one. It's an AARP defensive driving course. It can get you up to $100 off of your car insurance a year, which is pretty great. The first one starts on May 21st with registration at 12:30. And on May 22nd, it starts at 12:45. So get the registration on the way, and that'll be held at the Senior and Community Center. And on April 19th, we have the UDC Litter Sweep, and we have our rep Christine Martin here. Can you tell us all about it, please?
Sure, you might see some of these signs around with the safety green, neon green, announcing the litter sweep is happening on the 19th. We're gonna meet at 9 AM at the cul-de-sac on River Road. We are hoping to have a great turnout this year. There are 7 crews. There's gonna be 4 or 5 in Berryville, and then there's gonna be a crew coming from Lumberland that is led by Frank Guzman, and then there's a crew in Eldred this year that's gonna work along 55 and Hathaway Brook in the town of Eldred itself. So we're looking for more and more volunteers. We're also looking for businesses who want to be involved. There have been some great donations. If you show up early on the 19th, we should have some free coffee and bagels courtesy of the Stick It In Cafe. And if you stick around afterwards, you'll have some free pizza from Il Castello's that we served at the Cottage Wines on 97. And I've also heard that Monteleone's, the corner store, is offering some free ice cream.
Oh my.
Very fun.
It's a big deal.
So if you're wearing a t-shirt, you'll get your free t-shirt as a volunteer, which will keep you safe and get some ice cream. So hopefully we'll see you then and pray for good weather.
I also wanted to include that the Lions Club has been very active every year in our litter sweeps, and so they've chosen their own litter leader to represent the Lions Club, and that is Miss Kathy DeBoule right behind you. So we're gonna see her, Kathy. And we see her in sort of every facet of every organization in this entire community, but thank you for representing the Lions Club in this litter sweep. Great, now I would like to introduce the public and the town board to Brian York. And John, if you want to give a little introduction of what our thought is with Brian?
Sure, Brian, his firm, he has a partner in his firm, Troy, that I've been working with, he's an attorney, relatively local here. My suggestion to the town board a few months ago was that it might make sense to have somebody local counsel to be able to do all of your traffic tickets and code enforcement matters, which requires monthly or once a month for traffic, once a month for codes to show up in court and handle the docket. And I thought maybe having somebody local, less travel and whatnot might be great. I spoke with Troy, who I work with on other matters. He said, well, Brian does that sort of thing. Brian, I spoke, and I know John, you and I and Brian spoke. I know you sent the letter over to John, and I just wanted to make the introduction, and it could work out. I think it'd be great for the town. I'll save some costs, kind of use my work.
Great, thank you. And we did discuss this, when we were talking about a paralegal, when you took over, because we're very, very lucky to have Javed, and he's been very generous in only charging us one way for travel, but he does come from Albany, when he's late now, so short. But Brian, yeah, we'd love to meet you and thank you. Full disclosure, Brian and I barely remembered each other, but we used to meet at 8 AM. For the Sullivan County Visitors Association meeting.
That's
But
right.
it's all a blur because we both are like qualified night owls. So
And I think
that's our.
we only overlapped a year or so, I think, in that capacity.
If you want to, do you want to take the microphone to the podium so the folks at home can hear you?
So, well, thank you for having me and considering our firm for serving the Justice Court. I've been practicing in Liberty for 25 years. We've grown our firm from a single attorney firm to 5 attorneys. Now we have an office in Allenville and also in Delaware County. So we're growing. And we have great support staff, so we have quite a few resources there. And in addition to being an attorney, I served in government like yourselves, and so appreciate what you guys are doing, and I see you got a lot of positive things going on in this town, so that's nice. But in any case, I served as a town judge for 16 years in the town of Liberty, which is a very busy justice court, so I can appreciate what the judges are having to deal with, and even more particularly the court clerks.
Yeah, that's the big boss, right?
Yeah. Don't do it. But I, I do have quite a bit of experience with it. Liberty is a very, very busy court. And I enjoyed that immensely. And then I served as town supervisor for 2 years following that. And then abrupt end of my government career after being supervisor for 2 years. No, but anyway, it was a real honor to be in those capacities, and I think I certainly can lend some experience to your court here and work with the judges in the expeditious provision of justice in the town. So, I'm happy to answer any questions you might have. Any of the board members, any questions?
Does anybody have any questions? Well, I have just one question. What is the nature of the cases you've worked on with Brian's firm?
So Troy represents another local municipality as town council, and I'm assisting him on some special litigation matters. So that's our engagement there together.
And part of the selection of you, Java, was that we don't have to really call conflict counsel too
Right.
much because you're in Albany.
Right.
But in the event that we did have to call conflict counsel, would Brian kind of be a case?
I guess I would imagine it'll be case by case, rare instances in the event that I'm conflicted out with something. Brian would consider stepping in conflict counsel for that special thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. In addition to Forestburg, my firm also represents town of Warsing and Ulster County. So we have some familiarity with the topics that come up and.
Excellent. We've been asking around about you, and you get glowing reviews, so. Yeah, thank you for all the background and presentation too. Thank you. So with that, do I have a motion to approve Brian Ward in this form for our justice court traffic and code violations representation?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. Thank you. We're excited to have you join the
Thank
team.
you. Everyone has been terrific and friendly on the way in. I appreciate that.
Thanks, Brian.
I think I'll stick around for a few minutes.
Yeah, please do. Please do.
Thank you.
Welcome to the community. Thank you very much. Now we have another guest speaker, Mr. Chris Dickey. And please come up to the podium so the folks at home can hear you.
All right, there are big folks at home.
Pardon?
Are there folks at home? Are we in?
The whole town is listening.
Several people here. All right, well, it's good to see everybody. I'm Chris Dickey. I saw you, I don't know, was it 2 or 3 months ago I came to talk to you? We're on a journey to try to increase access to health services for our neighbors here in the town of Highland. Which, as you know, no big surprise, is a health desert, that our neighbors are busy most of the time driving one another around, trying to make appointments, get diagnostics, be treated for all the different ailments that human beings suffer from, and we're kind of neglected, honestly. And so we started this journey maybe, I don't know, 5-6 months ago to think about how we might improve the situation. My work is mostly overseas. I spend most of my time thinking about communities in Africa and the Middle East and India. And so you won't be surprised that those communities have some of the same challenges that we have here. And in fact, some of the same things that work there are likely to probably work here. But we're not going to just experiment. We want to talk to people. We would like to talk to you. In fact, also we have a small committee that Johnny put together, that the town put together with Glenn Pontier and with Kathy DeBoer and with me, and we're also contemplating, we're also gonna send out a survey to everybody. Which we're just finalizing right now, so that we can get a sense of your health needs. Surveys. I'm a public health guy, but I'm not a fan of surveys because you lose a lot of information if you're just clicking, you know, do you like it, do you not like it. But they're good at giving us an idea of the kinds of questions that we should ask. I really think the only way to find out about people's health needs is just to talk to them. So I've engaged my students, I've got a team of 6 or 7 students that are calling people. I've got a little piece of paper, I'll write your number if you're interested, to talk to Martha. Today, Johnny got interviewed, Mary got interviewed today, so some of you others have maybe been interviewed. They're nice, they're very nice young people, they're very friendly, they're a little formal for me. But I think that the best way for us to learn about what your health needs are, so that when we do put something in place, it matches what your needs are. I think just if you get a chance to talk to them, I really worry, having lived in this community for 25, 26 years. That we'll make a mistake, because I don't think we're gonna get a second chance to do this. I think you're gonna try to get it right the first time, even if we come in a little bit light and then build on it. I think it's gonna solve a lot of problems for people in the community. The only thing I would tell you is that we've gotten a very, very positive sign that we're going to be able to get some funding to hire a coordinator. To come here to work on the model and to make sure that we get the model right. And I've been interviewing people who really want to do that, and a couple of the people that want to do that are actually physicians. So, and one of them is a licensed physician, so you might be able to actually start to describe your health needs with somebody that could even potentially, he's licensed in New York, and I think he's going to be able to be reimbursed by Medicare and Medicaid and the VA as well, so. Anyway, the pieces are falling in place, they're coming into place. Really, I'm grateful for any help that you can give us to make sure that we get it right. I'm grateful to Martha and Kathy and everybody that's been interviewed.
When I talked to the kids, they were so surprised to find out how far in the country we really are.
Yeah.
And how few services we have. And when I talked to the one young lady, she says, well, how far do you have to go for a hospital? I said, any direction, it's at least 25 miles. And she said, what? I said, yeah. And I said, we have no local doctor anymore. So I said, you know, it's either 25 miles, maybe 18 miles if you get to Bethel. But I said, it's, you have to get in the car and travel. And so many of the, especially older ladies, don't know how to drive or can't drive. So now you have to depend on, somebody else to pick you up and take you to your appointment. And I know, you know, I think you can call maybe, the transportation,
Yeah,
But you have to meet their scheduling.
yeah,
exactly.
so it's just, I told the one young lady, I said, when you have appointments, don't get all the appointments the same day, so that if you're traveling to say, Monticello, you know, you get to the doctor, you get to the dentist or whatever, and then you go do your grocery shopping. So that you get everything done on one fell swoop, so you're not spending all kinds of extra time and money and gas and all this kind of stuff. And she just couldn't understand how you could live like that.
Well, I can tell you my bias, and the bias that I think is attractive to the funders. So we've talked to the New York Health Foundation, we've talked to Golden Navy. But I really believe that if we're going to do this, it ought to be a community approach. It should be an approach that starts with individuals and works its way up. So not, when we talk to the Garnett folks and to the Bronx Course folks, they're very kind. They're saying, we'll give you resources. But that's not starting with the community. We want to do something that's sort of a full person. When you walk into an emergency room, they see you as a symptom. They look at your high blood pressure, they look at your diabetes, or they look at whatever disease you're coming with. A community health approach looks at the whole person, to see whether or not you've got other things going on, and maybe there's some other health thing that you're thinking about, or maybe some other issue that is important that influences your health. And so that's, I think, the way we're going to approach this. It's not going to be just sticking a doctor here and hoping that everybody goes there. I don't think.
Be nice though.
There will be access to primary healthcare. I really think that's the one major thing that we'll be able to do. But diagnostics, I think family planning, there are a lot of young families that have to drive very good distances if their kid gets an ear infection. You know what I mean? Or a kid gets cut or something, there's just, we don't have the kind of care that other people have the luxury of experiencing. I mean, it really hurts our whole community. All right, so please, if you can, leave me your number, I'll give it to my students if you're interested. They're very nice, Martha can tell you.
Yeah, they're
I can
nice
tell you.
kids.
Yeah, they're not, they can use a little bit of calming down, but they're.
Yeah,
Yeah.
our 15-minute conversation turned out to be like 45 or 50 minutes, because they were just asking so many questions. And, well, I can talk, so.
Yeah. One of the things that I just urge you all to do is share your stories, because we're building this program to be a sort of catch-all clinic. You know, like for just speaking from my own experience, and I really unpacked this a lot with the student that I spoke with, but you know, I had a joint replacement surgery, and in preparation for that, I had, I think, 8 to 10 appointments for x-rays, blood work, diagnostics, EKGs, all these things, and I just kept having to float down to the city because I was having it done at NYU. So what we're trying to build is to have a catch-all clinic that speaks to other medical groups. It's not affiliated with the town, but it's in support of the town. You know, we really want to have this be its own entity and its own not for profit. We've seen a lot of success already. You know, Chris has been knocking on the doors of every health system up here, across to Pennsylvania. We've been speaking to the Wright Institute and Wayne Memorial. We've also secured some potential funding that Sullivan 180 might be helping us out with. So we have a lot of really wonderful things, but you know, after Dr. DeBull's passing, we lost that hometown doctor that was established by her wonderful grandfather, you know, so it's really, you cannot shake a stick at having hometown healthcare. And so we're hoping to build it back better. And Chris has been a wonderful resource, both having students and the sort of entrepreneurial spirit. So thank you for all that you've been working on in advance for the community. We're really lucky to have you here. And selfishly, I'm sure you want to build in some healthcare for yourself as you retire here, and
Starting to feel it.
yeah. So I can't, you know, stress enough. If you want to inform this and be part of this, please share your information and speak to it. And also talk about what kind of medications you would like to have, because we haven't also lost sight of this potential to have like a, you know, a small pharmacy or a small medical exchange with like top SKUs of medicines that maybe several residents are on. So yeah, it could be really wonderful, and we're off to a really bright start already. Thank you, Chris. Thank you. Pete Carmichi was planning on joining us, but he wasn't able to at the end. But I do have an exciting announcement. We are giving away the pool table at the Senior and Community Center. So it's first come, first serve. So whoever would like it, get a truck, pick it up, bring it down to you wherever you'd like to place it, but it will be completely free. I think it's got 4 pool sticks and a cube.
And it's heavier than heck.
Heavier than heck, and it's kind of stationary. We usually just cover it or throw things or decorate around it for events, but it just doesn't see a lot of use. We did just redo the shuffleboard. I think Scotty and another.
Right, we done that, we all done that one.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're excited to maintain that, but I think pool is not as popular, so would you like the pool table?
No.
Okay.
I would, I don't have any place to put it.
Okay.
But that seems silly to give it a lovely place pool in this town.
We've been talking about it, you know, over, you know, the seniors all talked about it, they'd rather get rid of it. And we are making room for some, we're gonna start our food programs there as well, so we're trying to open up the room a little bit and get rid of some clutter. We had 2 residents, Marion Minorino, who doesn't like, she sits in the dark and is in public, and Margie Bernisi were able to help clean out all of the cabinets in preparation for the renovations. So we're very grateful to them. So this is in the spirit of just sort of decluttering and cleaning up and, you know, getting rid of things we're not using as much. Any takers? Spread the word, tell your friends.
Does the high school have a senior room?
I don't believe they do have a senior
Because
room, but
most high schools have a room where the seniors can go and have a pool table,
I don't
because they
think,
love the pool.
yeah, we can't, I don't think we have.
They can't smoke.
Yes, if this were 1980 something, we'd be smoking and playing pool during lunch, but it's not. I will reach out though and see if the superintendent wants to take it for the school for any reason. If we don't have any takers here tonight, Derek, are you sure you don't want to? Maybe, all right, think about it.
I'll put my crossbar.
All right. It's, all right, well, thank you. Mr. Barnes, you are on.
Okay, thanks.
Yep.
Okay, from our last meeting. The town guys have been cleaning up. Most of the brush along the roads from the winter storm damage and chipping brush cutting it. We replaced a couple culverts, Salmon Road and Clark Road. The county has installed 40-mile-an-hour speed limit signs on Mail Road for us. The speed signs on both ends of Barryville have been put up. The green space rules sign has been installed. Dressed up some of the cul-de-sacs from plowing in the winter. Our chipper was down for probably a week and a half. Clouds and wings have been removed. And just general maintenance overall.
Great, and you did your bid reveal today for the stone bids?
Yes.
Okay, and did you come
Well,
up with
there's
a vendor?
multiple people that have bids on different size stone, so it's just approving an overall stone bid. And if the low bidder can't provide, we move on to the next.
Got it. And we did get one bid for the generator, and we can look at it today. But since for the installation at the highway garage, we got one bid. But since we initially looked at it, Frank Monteleone volunteered his engineering services for the building in general. And so he was able to sort of put together a new diagnostic plan for the generator. Tom, do you want to speak to that a bit?
Yes, Joe, I have a plan that Frank put together. We should rebid this. Since we only had one bid return, so we have to advertise it.
We'll repost.
Yeah, I believe it would probably be a good idea.
Okay. Can we get that done now?
Yes, we can definitely rebid.
I'd like it, and we'll pick a date where we'll have a job site meeting. We'll review the plans, Frank will be present. And everyone will have the opportunity to bid equally on this project.
Right.
We have to get more than one bid, so we have to rebid.
And we do have the benefit of having wonderful diesel mechanics in the highway garage, so I think we'll drop off that service contract portion of it and just look to the installation, because I think you guys can maintain it in a really wonderful way. This bid is very reasonable, so I think we should reach back out to this vendor and rebid. Yeah, and we'll include them in the rebidding process, but it looks great as it is.
Can I take a look?
Yeah, there you go, that's from Rapid Electric in Glen Spey.
Yeah.
As far as the service contract, you're changing the oil, doing maintenance on it. We do it on the trucks, they're brand new.
Yeah.
$305,000 truck. So.
I can trust you with this, Jim. It's what you're saying.
You can trust the mechanics with it.
Good stuff.
If there's an issue with it, just like when I worked in the county, if there was an issue with the big generator at the care center. Caterpillar would come and do the repairs. We maintained the generator ourselves. Since I left, they've contracted it out.
Got it. Also, you provided the town with some information on a blower, piece of equipment.
Yes.
And also, the request to order a new pickup truck to replace the one that we just replaced. It's sort of, you described it as like the sister truck of the one that we replaced. How old was that? Where are these two vehicles? The one we replaced and the one we still have on hand?
The two large plow trucks are 2005. One currently has 80,000 miles. The other one has 94,000 miles. But they're 20 years old. they're starting to show their age. I was told that the mechanic, or that the frames are starting to show the rust jack and whatnot, which if you let it get too big, it fails inspection.
So you would like the town board to consider the purchase of a pickup truck, correct?
A pickup truck, a debris blower that will go on the back of the tractor to blow the roads clean before we surface treat them. To help clean the ditches in the fall when the leaves come off. It could be used for several different things. To give you an idea what kind of a machine it is, anybody that watches racing. It's the same blower that's used at Pocono Speedway.
Got it. And so we do have a pretty healthy amount in our capital equipment fund, which is our high yield savings account. That we could actually purchase the blower, obviously with that fund. And then we can go ahead and order the truck and kind of see where we're at. You know, the wonderful thing about this high yield savings is that it's gonna accrue the most interest that we can. It's kind of at the top of municipal investment programs. But we don't know what the economy is gonna look like next week. We don't know what it's gonna look like tomorrow. Obviously, you've seen the turbulence with the stock market, so I don't want to rely on, you know, the sort of interest that we've been accruing, but as of now, we will be able to cover our bond payment for the trucks that we purchased last year with the interest, on our money that we have set aside with the capital reserve. So we're able to cover our bond payment for those two trucks. But I think we should go ahead and order the trucks and then take a bigger look at it and see what the economy is doing to see if we purchase at least the one truck outright. Or if we, you know, go for a bonding program. I put in a call to Green Bank. We told us the interest rate should be about the same, like 4.5 for a municipality. If we did look to bond. And then I also have a call into the USDA because they have an equipment program specifically for our county. That has interest rates as low as 3%. So they were gonna check on the specs on this, but I do think that, you know, because you guys have what, a 16 months for the larger trucks, for the larger.
Anywhere between 14 months and 16 months.
Got it.
And just to give you an idea, the truck that we just purchased. The last board purchase was $305,000. The quote I got on the new truck that we would like to order is $361,000. Wow. It's gone up $55,000 in 2 years.
And
It's the
this,
price of stainless steel and labor.
yeah. And
The truck came in about the same price.
Yeah, but if we order a truck, like say we were to order the truck tomorrow, you know, one of the plow trucks. We don't save any money by ordering it now. It doesn't lock in the price by any means, does it?
No,
Got it.
no, yeah, they're writing that right in there now. I mean, say. The body that was on is on the truck that we just received. Comes from Canada, just to give you an idea. So, you know.
Yikes. Okay,
And, well, you want to discuss the pickup truck?
yeah, please go.
Okay, the pickup truck. Is $69,636. And they told us to basically order it by May 15th. Or hold off till next year.
And is there any urgency on ordering the other plow truck, the larger truck? Like, should we, I mean, it's about 16 to 20 months out, like, do you think that we should start that process as well?
I would think you should start thinking about it. I mean, you don't have to do it tonight, you can, you know. Talk about it some other time, but I would definitely get it in there.
And can I open the floor for discussion with the board? Does anybody have any opinions? Like, do you think that we should action the pickup truck potentially tonight, because we have the cash on hand.
You know, we should have discussion, table at the next meeting, that's my opinion.
So our next meeting is set for May 13th, right? Does that sound right?
Next board meeting.
You know, there's a workshop too.
What time is the second?
Yeah. So, yeah, so why don't we, thank you for that information. If you could just send all the specs of what you guys are looking for and purchasing, you could share that with the board. Just send that over to us and we can kind of look at it amongst ourselves and just do some
So
research.
what's that?
For the larger truck,
Oh, okay.
for the plow truck and
Sure.
for the pickup truck.
Because you have the specs.
I have the specs for the pickup truck and for the blower.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think we have the larger truck on hand, but if you could just.
No, I just got that today.
Yeah, that's right,
That's
that's right.
like 30 pages, so.
Okay, if you could get a copy of that to Melissa, we can scan it, send it around to the board, and then we can have a more kind of meaningful conversation
Right.
at the May meeting. That
Yeah.
works for everybody,
Yes.
okay?
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Joe.
So should I order the blower?
What's the cost on the
The
blower?
blower, it's in the, isn't it?
9,000?
9,000 on the blower.
Only this is all I can see. And I have it full.
Do I have a motion to authorize the purchase of the blower for the highway department?
what's the number, dollar amount?
Pardon?
What did you say the dollar amount was?
9,000?
Oh, that's the specs that you sent for the
Yeah,
workshop?
that's-
Yeah, I looked at that.
Should have pictures of it on the back of the
Yeah.
tractor and whatnot. No.
I'll make that motion.
Can you have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Nice.
All opposed? Any abstentions?
What's the actual amount being authorized?
We have the actual, do you have the full dollar amount? I know it's 9,000, but do you know the exact dollar amount?
Well, I have the same thing that you just quoted. Contract price is $9,015. Yeah, 9,015 cents, I'm sorry,
Oh, so 9,015.
$9,000.
You want us to do a motion over?
Okay, not to exceed.
Not to exceed. Yeah.
Okay, understood. Do I have a motion to purchase the blower for the highway department at a cost of $9,000.15, not to exceed that amount?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any extensions? So moved. Thank you, Joe. All right, we also, in moving our green space, and sort of actualizing that space. The only request, we put together a little like neighborhood forum that's been together since 2016 when they were first gifted, when the town was first gifted the property by Aaron Robinson. And the neighbors have been getting together over the course of almost 10 years to put together rules for the space and requirements and requests from the town. And one of the major requests, and I don't know if you guys have been to this part of town before, but there's a family that purchased the adjacent Robinson property right at the end of River Road, and they have young children, and they also happen to have a really fun yard. So they have about 6 children in their yard every day, and so there's children playing right at that bend, and it can be a bit of a blind spot. So not only are they interested in looking for solutions because the county is going to be paving that road, but they also requested no parking at that spot just because there's kids kind of coming in and out. And we also want to encourage a healthy lifestyle or healthy living or utilization of that space. So you'll see Sue and Kathy walking on River Road every day, and it's a really nice spot where you can either park at Eagle Observation 1 and get in a really wonderful round trip. It's about a mile round trip if you start there, walk to the end and go back, or you can start at the cul-de-sac or some other place, along there. But the idea is that we're not parking and kind of being a nuisance to that family and blocking their wonderful view of the river and all those things and keeping kids safe over there. So we would like to adopt an ordinance, amending, town code, 30-3, for parking restrictions. We've already voted, that we would like to sign this as no parking, but now we have to pass the actual ordinance. In an effort to do that, we have to have a public hearing. So May 6th, we'd like to set the public hearing, to get the public's feedback on no parking on River Road to utilize the green space. So do I have a motion to set the public hearing for May 6th? For the amending of town code 130-3?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. I will put this on the, well, actually, Laura will put this on the town board website, and I'll also share it, on my supervisor page and on the town's Facebook page, so that folks can get a chance to read it. Again, that'll be May 6th at the top of our workshop at 7 p.m. Thank you, Java, for preparing. all this.
Sure, we'll also want to put this in the newspaper.
Yeah.
At least 10 days prior to the public hearing.
Yeah, so Melissa, I think we should go ahead and publish it as soon as we can. John, if you could just send us an electronic copy of this so we can.
Yeah.
look to work with it. That'd be great. Thank you very much. Let's see. All right, buildings update, Tom and Sonia.
Okay, well, John covered most of what's going on in the buildings, but there's a few things that weren't mentioned. As far as the generator rebid, John, are we going to get a date tonight so we can advertise it?
Yeah, so-
We'll go on quickly.
Yeah, so actually to that point, do I have a motion? Well, we can do the two RFPs together because we have to issue two RFPs, one to rebid on the generator install.
Okay, the other thing is we have to start getting a plan together for the renovation of this hall as well as the kitchen. But how are we gonna go?
I mean, I think you and I can just sit and review. I'd like to get feedback from the staff that's here every day. With the refrigerator kind of, defrosting itself, we thought we had to replace it. And it got me thinking that we may want to choose a different format for the kitchen if we're going to be replacing it. These counters are very old. We have a lot more space than we actually need and we're hoarding a lot of dishes. Melissa and her wonderful volunteer were able to move and sort through. So I would like to see if we can get some more storage for the office in general, maybe achieved on the side of the kitchen space.
So next week, let's, you and I get together and try to put a plan together for that so we can start moving on that.
And I think you and I were also gonna see, I'm sure many of you know, for kitchen renovations, IKEA is a really wonderful resource. But we wanna kind of test out the quality because this gets a little bit more usage than the senior community center kitchen is. So it's been very economical in our research. So why don't we get the equipment or those pieces installed and see what we feel about the durability.
We'll make some type of layout. The other thing I'd like to mention is new office furniture is being installed on Monday, correct? The clerk's office, the assessor's office, the entranceway was all repainted. So we've been cleaning up the offices and the new furniture is coming. I believe, or I know, one of the desks from the assessor's office is going over to the senior center by the entranceway. Those two desks are gonna be removed and trashed, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Also, I have permission to take the TV out of there,
Yes,
as well as the mattress.
that's all clear matches.
I mean, I have the, okay, right, I have the green light on that.
I think someone wants that, no.
Well, tell me, I'll just leave it there, man, but the
Yeah, I
the
think someone
TV,
is claiming who wants the matches.
okay.
But the TV set has never been used, so there's.
If we need transport, I'm happy to loan the truck.
We'll get that taken care of. I want special thanks to the highway department again, Joe. You guys cleaned out the gutters at the senior center. We're also trenching the back of the building, all that water's laying in. One thing I do want to ask you or mention to you, the entranceway of the senior center as well as the highway garage, the paving. There's a big pothole. I know you guys filled it. When the weather gets good, you can take care of that for us and cut it back and pave it. All right, that's good news. Special thanks to Frank Monteleone for putting this plan together for the generator bid, and that would be very helpful for us. And basically, I think we have everything covered at this time. That's all I have to report on.
Thank you, Tom. Do I have a motion to issue to reissue an RFP for the installation of the generator?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. All right, Tanya and Caitlin, insurance committee.
Insurance Committee, this month we received the workman's compensation reimbursement. This reimbursement is related to an incident that took place in February of 2024. The funds have been returned to the general fund and are now reflected in our financials accordingly.
Thank you very much. Patty, how's your hands?
Can she
Okay, good. All right, Laura, website technology.
I have been in communication with Doreen Warner of W Design, who built our website and helps maintain it and update it. We have a state mandate to switch from a .com. So the website is townofhighlandny.com. We must migrate it to townofhighlandny.gov as long as we can get that domain name. All municipalities have been put under a timeline by the end of the year to make that change so that all municipal and government entities have a .gov ending. So Doreen's on it. She's looking into it. I believe that domain is available. So we have to.
Buy it and don't.
Yeah, don't sneakily buy our website. But I'm going to need your help. And I did follow up with an email today to secure that domain because you have to do so through a government website. And that will, the first step is to get it. They'll check every page. So I'll be requesting from departments. It's a good time for any picture updates or information updates. I know the senior center wants a more prominent position. It's hard to find on the website. So we'll be kind of going through it page by page as we do these updates. And then in turn, our email addresses will have to change from a .com to a .gov. So we'll have Secure Cloud help us with that. And that was something I just so happened to learn about at Association of Towns training. I sat in on the wrong meeting, but I was glad I did. And we also will be adding the new seal to the website, which has been beautifully designed by Kelly Lee, formerly Kelly Leavenworth of the very famous Leavenworth Legacy in Eldred. She's an incredible graphic designer. She works for many different clients in the city. And out of the kindness of her heart, she really wanted to upgrade. There's a few seals that I've seen being used in code and on communications and in our court. We need one. Also, the clip art was so small and so hard to read and see. So we wanted color and clarity, and that's going to be also included on everybody's new personnel handbook, which you have to read through and sign and submit to the town clerk's office. And a copy was given to the highway team as well. And that is all of my updates.
Great, thank you. So yeah, we're really excited. Doreen and Kelly and Nicole and Laura have been working diligently on kind of like a branding. We, in 2018, the Greater Berryville Chamber of Commerce worked with our municipality to put in the new Berryville sign in the business directory. And we are very excited that Doreen and Kelly and Nicole have designed a whole suite package. And so Laura will give updates kind of moving forward with our grant process, but we're really excited that our art is all starting to speak to each other. So like our entry signs will reflect similar motifs as the Berryville sign and the individual hamlet signs and our overall town sign. So we're really excited to have all this going. But yeah, if anybody wants to take a look, this will also be built into the new,
That's around.
oh, sure, thank you, Scott. Yeah.
Thank you.
This will be built into the new bulletin board that was donated by the Tigar family. So this will be installed right at the top, so it will be built into the history of our town immediately, so it's very exciting. Thank you, Laura. All right, so Tom, do you have anything? Oh, can you give us our statistics on the fire departments and the ambulance number of calls?
For you, for the month of February, there were 6 emergency calls.
Oh, well, good. No, go ahead.
3 trainings and 2 miscellaneous, and it was a total of 14 hours for March for you on fire department. There were 12 emergency calls, 8 drills, 2 meeting trainings, and 1 miscellaneous, a total of 23 hours. We only have for February for the Highland Lake Fire Department 5 calls, 2 drills, 1 work night, 1 training class, a total of 75.5 man hours. The ambulance, with the Highland ambulance, 34 calls, 6 mutual aid to Lumberland, 5 Bethel, 3 Tustin, 1 Fallsburg, 1 meeting, 1 drill, a total of 336 man hours.
You guys maybe remember, I believe it was at our February meeting. We moved to put the reestablishment of the constabulary on the ballot in November, so we'd like to let the people decide. We've been doing a lot of footwork, again, with the USDA and some other agencies to try to see what kind of grants we could get to sort of reestablish it. We are looking to operate under the same budget that we had in the past and that we've moved over to the sheriff's department now. Don, in passing this resolution for the constabulary, for the language, do we need to do a public hearing as well?
So this resolution is in essence an introductory resolution for a proposed local law. And that proposed local law will be subject to a vote. So tonight we would vote on this resolution, but all this resolution does is establishes a public hearing. And then it requires the publication of the local law, and then you'll have the public hearing on the local law. Should you pass that, it doesn't become effective until it's then voted on in November. And there's specific language in there telling you how to do that.
Got it. So would it be the same sort of situation? Is this, could we set the public hearing for May 15th?
Yeah, yes, you should,
Okay.
yeah.
Or for, yeah. we'll
So
do-
you would actually adopt this resolution tonight,
Okay,
and then as part of that resolution, it's the language that the public hearing should be in.
got it. So do I have a motion to pass this proposed town board resolution to reestablish the constabulary? And set a public hearing date of May 6th.
Yeah, it might actually just make sense to just read it, I feel like it was short.
Sure.
One page,
A resolution introducing and scheduling a public hearing on local law to establish a town constabulary subject to voter approval and requesting placement of a proposition on the general election ballot. At the special meeting of the town board, Town of Highland, Sullivan County, New York, held at Town Hall, 4 Proctor Road, Eldred, New York, 12732, on the 6th day of May in 2025. Whereas the town board of the town of Highland is considering the reestablishment of a town constabulary for the purpose of enforcing local laws, preserving public order, and permitting other duties as authorized by the town board. And whereas the town board wishes to adopt a local law to establish such a constabulary, but only upon the approval of the majority of the qualified electors of the town of Highland, voting thereon at a general election pursuant to municipal home rule law number 24 and election law article 4. And whereas a proposed local law entitled a local law to establish a town constabulary in the town of Highland, subject to voter approval, has been prepared and introduced at this meeting. Now therefore be it resolved, a public hearing shall be held before the town board on the 6th day of May at 7 p.m. at Town Hall located at 4 Proctor Road to hear all persons interested in the proposed local law. Number 2, the town clerk or deputy town clerk is hereby directed to publish and post the required notice of public hearing in accordance with applicable law. Number 3, subject to the rules of the public hearing, the town board shall consider adoption of said local law, and if adopted, such local law shall be submitted for approval of the qualified electors of the town of Highland at the general election to be held on November 4th, 2025. Number 4, the proposition to be placed on the ballot shall read as follows. Proposition number 1, establishment of the town constabulary. Proposition number 1, shall the town of Highland establish a town constabulary to consist of appointed constables with peace officer status for the purposes of enforcing local laws, preserving public order, and performing other duties as authorized by the town board, yes or no? Shall the town of Highland establish a constabulary to consist of appointed constables with peace officer status? Number 5, the town clerk or deputy town clerk is directed to file a certified copy of the adopted local law with the Sullivan County Board of Elections, along with this resolution, and a request to place above proposition on the ballot in accordance with election law number 4-108 and municipal home rule law 27. Do I have that motion?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor, can you do roll call, please?
Councilperson Burrell,
Aye.
Councilwoman Kinney,
Aye.
Supervisor Pizzolato,
Aye.
Councilman Livingston.
Aye. Okay, adopted on this, the 8th day of May, or April, 2025. And, thank you, please take care of the rest of the leadership for the resolutions. Okay, thank you so much. So we'll set the public hearing for the same date, before our workshop and get this in the paper 10 days before.
And just for the board information, packet that you have in front of you, the rest of it is a proposed local law that you'll be considering. The resolution you just adopted, including a copy of this proposal, looks to go on the website. And then obviously the publication.
Laura, can you help us put that proposal up as well? Thank you very much. Okay.
No, it's at the last page.
The code committee, Laura and Tom.
Everyone was given in their packet a violation summary report year to date from January because I did not hand that out at the last meeting. I apologize for that. So you'll have multiple months on that report. Your permit status report as well as the permit monthly report. Other than that, we don't have any exact updates. We're working on streamlining, cleaning, all the fun stuff, but nothing outstanding to report today.
Okay, thank you. Grants, Laura, do you want to talk to us about our newly submitted Sullivan 180 application?
Yes, so we're working with Nicole. Well, I'm going to start with the 2024 Municipal Partnership Beautification Grant first. We're closing that out. We have about $137.55 to spend down after the bills are paid tonight. We're working with Fine Hand Signs, Nicole Camacho, and the Highway Department to install 2 new gateway signs on 55 and 97. And fingers crossed that'll happen at the end of this month. The sooner the better, now that the ground is finally thawed. And so everyone has gotten a report of the funds and a update on everything that happened throughout the year with volunteers and planting, as well as pictures and images of where flowers have gone and where those funds were used, a breakdown of how much the Chamber of Commerce contributed because the municipal partnership grant requires partnerships. And so we, of course, want to thank the Greater Berryville Chamber of Commerce for allocating their beautification funds to partner with us on this grant. And the successful completion of the 2024 grant has allowed us to apply again for 2025. And to the benefit of the entire community, we are including a maintenance proposal with Mama & Co., who are putting in the indigenous gardens down by the river to help us water and flower and maintain. It takes the burden off a lot of volunteers. And so in your packets as well, you have a full copy of the 2025 preliminary application. It includes some rollover funds from the Silver Feather, which was approved by Sullivan 180 this past month. it includes the final two signs for Beaverbrook Road and Proctor Roads, that all four welcome signs in the town of Highland match. As well as our traditional application of flowers and materials. One of the materials I'm very excited about is a pump for the large watering cube that fits in the back of a pickup truck so that we can water all things with one trip, which is very exciting. Maybe just to me, but it is a big deal.
You know, I'm super excited about it is Jim Morbido, who offered to help, is our resident gardener, so that'll be really helpful for him and
Yes.
whoever our interns.
Yes, and so in similar fashion, we met with the Chamber of Commerce and asked for them to partner with us once again. I've submitted the receipts from 2024 and a copy of this report to the town clerk's office. And the Chamber of Commerce has welcomed the partnership again, which is really, really kind, which allows us to really do everything in town. Growing gardens is difficult. You have to depend on weather, but maintaining them really depends on the volunteers in the community. And so we're always welcome, anyone that wants to help. It's pretty fun to get a little dirty. And we're of course in gratitude of Sullivan 180 for continuing to support these efforts. So that is the grant update from my end. I know you have an update too.
Oh, yeah, so, as many of you know, we purchased the building located at 564 State Route 55. We don't have any definite plans and we do want the public's input. We're gonna be sending around a survey that's just gonna ask some questions about the building and the use of the space and the land. But we do have a wonderful opportunity. I had a meeting with legislator, Matt McPhillips and Heather Brown, the Sullivan County Planning Commissioner. And there are what they call RUST grant funds available. So RUST grants were typically for the demolition of buildings. The funding source has been moved to the Sullivan County Land Bank, but they didn't propose a mechanism for how to get those funds or spend those funds or utilize those funds for the 2024 cycle. So I remember that they had those funds and have been badgering Heather about it for a full year now. Finally, it's come into fruition with Matt and myself and Heather, and the word got out to a couple other supervisors. So right now they have about $120,000 to $140,000. They're trying to put an exact match on it. So the concept right now is that if we issue an RFP for demolition, if that's the way that we decide to go with that property, we would be able to get that designation of like $45,000 to $55,000 to kick us off with that demolition. I've also put in a request with Assemblywoman Paula Kay's office for another SAM grant for development of that property. So, we're gonna put things on the comprehensive plan survey, like, do we need more municipal parking? Do we need a pavilion? Do we want to do some sort of extension of Heroes Park? Do we want to have more community space, a playground, any number of things? We really want the community's impact and input with what to do with that property. But in order to at least earmark those funds for us for whatever we're going to do, we would need to issue an RFP and start to get bids for what it would cost to demo the property. So with that, do I have a motion to approve the issuance of an RFP for demolition of 564 State Route 55?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. Is there any old business? Okay. Any new business by anybody on the board? Okay, do I have a motion to go into executive session for the purposes of sharing information relating to the current or future investigation or prosecution of a criminal offense which would imperil effective law enforcement if disclosed?
I'll make that motion to go into
Do I have a
executive.
second?
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? So you can enjoy the wonderful refreshments.
Second.
I don't know how you drink night coffee. I don't know how you drink night coffee.
I will go in my second cup.
I'd be up all night.
But this is like my.
So I have a motion to return from executive session to the general meeting.
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. We would like to move to redivert the register vital statistics stipend of $750 and the tax collection stipend at $750 to the deputy clerk Melissa Denlinger, who's assumed those responsibilities in terms of the register of vital statistics. Melissa's registered already with the state and is already doing the job officially. And we would like to reroute that $750 stipend tax collection, as that's been mostly Melissa's burden at this point. As well, we need to actualize the raise that was promised at $19.10 an hour in the clerk's office. And so, do I have a motion to issue those stipends to Melissa and to reestablish a rate at $19.10 an hour?
Make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. Is there any public comment?
No.
Mel?
There's some confusion. It was said that you posted on your Facebook page that Sue Hoffman is under investigation by the district attorney. And I heard opposite things. Can you clarify for us?
Thank you for your comment.
So that's a no.
Thank you for your comment. Any other public comment?
Well deserved.
Pardon?
Well deserved.
All right, do I have a motion to pay abstract number 4-2025, claims number 28 through 41 in the amount of $11,889.57? I'll make them. Do I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. Do I have a motion to pay general abstract number 4-2025, claims number 80 through 118 in the amount of $56,216.63. Do I have that motion?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. Do I have a motion to pay Eldred Streetlights number 3-2025, claim 3 in the amount of $146.35?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. Do I have a motion to pay Silver Feather Grant number 4-2025, claim number 1 in the amount of $5,040?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us tonight. Have a wonderful night. We'll see you later. Thank you again for providing your questions. Thank you.